You moved in early July, but there's still a few boxes laying around because you spend too much time making YouTube videos on your days off. And your wife is like, "You sure spend a lot of time doing that?" And you're like, "Yeah, it's like a second job." And she's like, "How much does it pay?" So to help me break down those still unpacked boxes, how about the Westin from Kershaw? And I apologize to my wife if you're watching. Your voice does not sound like that. I'm just really bad at impressions. The Westin is a Les Paul design knife based upon the character Michael Westin from the show on USA Network's Burn Notice, where he's a firefighter one day away from retiring before he gets roped into one last big heist. I think I read that right. The last thing I'd want to do is spread, misinformation on YouTube. The Westin, while relatively slim, is a decently sized everyday carry, as evidenced by, you guessed it, the overall length. The blade size, the cutting edge, in metric for my metric friends. The handle, and the handle grip area. The handle thickness, and spine thickness, and the weight. The Westin has a drop point hollow grind. Well, the product description says it's a asymmetrical grind, but I mean, I've looked really close at it, and it looks symmetrical on both sides, so take mine with a grain of salt. Or a grain of sand scratching the crap out of your blade. The blade uses an 8 CR13 MOV Chinese steel, and the blade and handle have a stone wash finish, so it hides scratches because you can't own nice things anyway, right? Like me. The stout blade is deployed by a flippin' stud and uses Kershaw's awesome assisted speed safe patent magic lock deployment thing. Sorry, I said I wasn't going to do impressions again, but it sometimes just happens. It's like an automatic, but it's not quite. The speed safe requires enough force so it doesn't create a problem in your pants. Now, if you press it a few thousand times a day, your hand will get a little tired because you do have to hit it with a bit of force. The Westin features a frame lock that's sturdy and requires just a bit of force to disengage. Now do a shot every time I say force. When closing the blade, it requires more force than a traditional blade because you're working against the torsion bars, whom assist the opening. Blade retention when closed is great. It ain't coming out. Anyway, the handle is a decent size. I'd like it if there was a less pronounced bump near the rear. It's not sharp, but if it had a more gradual rise, it may be a little more comfortable for larger hands. I'm not bragging or anything. That said, it's still easy to hold onto if you rearrange your fingers. One side is made, of course, of stainless steel frame because of the frame lock, and the other side is a textured FRN handle material, or GFN, or glass-filled nylon, as Kershaw calls it. There's some minor jimping on the spine near the tang and the flipper stud, but no offensive sharp textures anywhere. The blade comes tip-up stud forward for a pocket carry in the right pocket, which is ideal for fast deployment when that cardboard is looking at you funny. Funny like a clown? But the clip is reversible to either side for left or right pocket carry, but always in a tip-up config, which is short for configuration. Now, a while back, I reviewed the Showtime, which is sort of a similar knife, but smaller and all metal, like Lemmy. Satan bless his soul. Kershaw offers quite a few of these mostly steel constructed pocket knives with the speed safe. This is another solid offering of that line. You shouldn't be disappointed if you like those knives. The knife is a tad heavy, a bit on the heavier side, for my preference. Not too heavy, but it's kind of like my Max. The good thing is it's slim and it doesn't take a whole lot of pocket space, so you may not notice it being there. And as far as the steel goes, 8 CR13 MOV isn't easy enough to sharpen Chinese steel. I have a few Enlins and a fixed blade that use it, and it holds up okay considering it's a budget steel. If you like this review, give the video a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram while you're at it too. That is unless you're still mad about the Paramilitary 2 versus the Gonzo video, or are already subscribed. Either way, you're still cool in my book. Kershaw provided this knife for review and to allow me to make lame jokes about it.